Life is the science fiction horror film that stars Jake Gyllenhaal and Ryan Reynolds, and among others, and is a film that deals with these these research team that's in space, and they're on this. They are on an en route mission to Mars, and after they discover this life form, they discover a new life form that's from Mars itself.
It's like a capsule. I guess somebody, like an astronaut or somebody, was kind of got it off, put in this capsule, something, and then sent it to the space station where they're at, and pretty much the scientist, a black scientist. I've seen him in some movies.
I forgot his name, but he looked familiar.
Yeah, but anyways, he's researching this life form that they found on Mars, and
it basically, as we see in the trailer, this life form is pretty much is considered a deadly risk to them. As we see in the trailer that he gets attacked, and the rest of the film deals with everyone having to survive from this life form. And going into this one, I was actually looking forward to this movie a lot. I thought, from the trailers alone, it kind of looked like a mix of like Alien, mix a little of like Gravity from what it looks like.
And that's what I was really getting into. Is it looked like Alien, but I thought it was going to do like its own story, and then do something like big time cleverness, like another story we don't see much.
Yeah.
Like I did like how it was gonna be like Alien stuff, but I was wanting to see more originality. And I was thinking, I thought it was gonna be in 3D because it looked like I thought the visuals with the space and all that was gonna look cool to see in theaters, and I thought it was only in 2D.
Yeah, it looked like it was gonna be because there are some like parts where you could feel like they could have probably put atmospheric 3D in there.
Yeah.
It probably would have blended in with a lot of the environments.
Yeah. And I thought this movie probably would have looked. I can't remember. I don't think this movie's an IMAX movie.
I don't know. I can't tell you
because it doesn't look visually IMAXy, but it's because it's kind of like a different take on atmosphere space, where it's kind of like gritty space, where it's kind of more gritty. It's not like what Gravity and all them had, where visually was beautiful in space.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying it was not pretty in space. It was good, visually good movie.
Yeah. But after watching pretty much the movie, I was kind of expected to get really good reviews. I can say that the movie's good, but it does have quite some flaws.
Yes,
so I'll get my pros out of the way first. Okay.
Yeah, and I'll get mine.
So I like the performances in this. I thought it was cool seeing Ryan Reynolds and kind of playing like he's kind of mixing his comedy in, but also playing a straight man.
He is. This is a straightforward movie, but Ryan Reynolds, will always bring comedy to the table if he can, and he does.
He does. And he's a blast every time he was on screen.
I did enjoy his time on screen, and
And
I had fun with his comedy, and like he said, great performances by Jake Gyllenhaal. I liked everybody on the film.
Yeah, and it was great seeing Jake Gyllenhaal back in, because anytime this guy appears on any movie, I'm always down for it. This is a very versatile actor. This is a very versatile actor. He could take any role, and I will watch.
Yes.
So it was great seeing him play pretty much a doctor. He's like I think he's a doctor in this. I think he's like.
Yeah. They all had their specialty guys. You got a guy that's from Japan. That short-haired girl's from Russia.
Yeah.
The black guy, and the other white girl,
United Kingdom.
And then Jake Gyllenhaal and Ryan Reynolds play the American astronauts.
And it's also fascinating the way that they have the way that it's like shot, because the way that it's shot is very unique too, because we actually spend, for the first, I'm going to say 8-9 minutes, the first 8 or 9 minutes is actually a very long take, one long take that we see of them going through the ship, and you just see it like the camera not stopping until it cuts to black.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really interesting.
I did like that too, and I did like how kind of was trying to pull a short stint of 2001: Space Odyssey, where it's just like you get a really good score in this film, by the way, and you get that, and you just get a lot of people just like looking at like buttons and just looking scientific shit, and all that stuff. But at the same time, when they do it later on, I'll get to my cons on that part, but I did like that at first.
Yeah, and I also really enjoyed the way that, well, again, I won't spoil anything, but this life form, when the shit hits the fan, it does get the actual look of this creature is actually very fascinating.
Yeah.
I don't really want to say what it looks like because it reminded me of another movie, but it's really unique the way that it
kind of reminded me of an alien form that looks like a starfish.
Kind of, yeah.
for a lot of the movie, it kind of looked like that.
Yeah.
And it's all wormy, you know, all like I thought visually it was really cool. But here's what I really liked about this film is whenever the Death Star happening, it gets kind of bloody, and I didn't even think it was going to be this bloody. But the way because they're living in the space station that you know how it is where they don't have gravity and they're floating around. So when death scenes happen and like somebody's getting torn up or getting like where the thing goes inside the body and tears its insides, it gets like this really globby blood just floating. And visually, I would have loved to see that in 3D.
That would be cool to see it pop out of the screen and all that. Yeah. And this is another thing that like you were saying, I really like the way that they spread out like those little spigots of blood out at a time. Yeah, but also, what really surprised me is all bets are off on this fucking movie because really like there's characters that you just don't expect to like really get anywhere because a lot of times
even if they do like bets are off and they do die, like some people you just don't know, you can't believe they die so quick.
Yeah, you couldn't it kind of threw you off like when you're watching
that person was going to be in this a lot.
Yeah, it's like, man, I can't believe that person got it, But also, what I did enjoy too was, I do like a lot of how this film was taking kind of cues from how Gravity did, where you don't hear, like, besides the music and everything, in some of the outside parts where it's in space, you don't really hear a lot of sound effects,
which is good.
Which I thought was you hear it a couple times when like the debris falling and stuff. Yeah. But like you on like the outside parts when it's just the life form, like you hear sound effects, but they're not overly loud that you would expect them to hear.
Yeah.
So I did like that, and I also really enjoyed the way that the story does take liberties from say other films, but it still manages to kind of basically. Unlike other films where they take a lot of like time with characters that are one-off every now and then, some of the characters we actually get depth for with a lot of development. Yeah. So I was actually surprised by that. I enjoyed. So because they all got at least fleshed out as far as characters. Now here's where I get to my cons.
Yes.
I will say this film does pretty much remind... It's hard to really like watch this film like without really comparing other science fiction films, not just including Alien, but I'm talking movies like Event Horizon, Gravity. You got other things that
this film. My first con, and it's a huge one, is it is very unoriginal. Like he said, pretty much there's like 20 sci-fi movies that's like this.
Yeah.
So even though it did its own take of its own Alien, it still kind of reminds me, it's pretty much like watching Aliens and all the other ones in a way.
Yeah, and plus it doesn't help too. Now, one thing I did hope that we were going to get more into is, I know it's from marginal, but and this might be more of a nitpick, but I kind of wish we could have got a little bit more where this creature was from, because they don't really go into detail.
Yeah, they don't go into detail, and that was another con I have. But another con I have is I didn't really get the very beginning where all the asteroids were hitting the space station, and then all of a sudden it's like its own little movie, like its own little part. And it's what does that got to do with...
I guess that was probably the showcase of how Ryan Reynolds' character is able to...
Unless I missed something.
That's probably basically to showcase what Ryan Reynolds' character can do, I guess. That's probably the only thing I can think of. No, the beginning,
before they got to any of the characters, they did this scene where it's like these asteroid things split this like station in half, and then basically it pans out, and then you see the word life, and then this is like, I guess, what, months, years later, or days later, you don't know, and it's like about Ryan Reynolds and all, the cast. It's like, what was even the first part?
Yeah, I could probably see that.
Yeah. I mean, really, what was it was like one of those times you see a movie where they do like you see this a lot in disaster films too, where they do a scene to introduce the title of the name, and it really just had nothing to do with the movie. So it was like, was that just like a filler in to get the title in? That's like, so that was like a like weird question. Why did they do that? So it was just seemed just out of place.
Yeah, now I think about it, I could probably see that. Yeah. Now, another thing I did have a problem with was, even though the film is a survival horror flick in space, they did kind of drag in some parts. Yeah. Especially parts where we take time out. Yeah. And, well, I want to say there was questionable decisions that these characters make when they're trying to get away. There's instances where supposedly they can try to get away from the alien, but the decisions they make are pretty much resulting to some of their deaths.
And whenever the deaths start happening, it's pretty much from there on, it's pretty much a straightforward movie.
Yeah,
because it's just like, okay, now we're just gonna become a space slasher maybe, or one by one, pick you off one by one. So it's like, okay, it's like they didn't like add on more like stuff and like, we're like, maybe we could do this, maybe we did that, like really showing along, like trying to figure out to defeat this thing.
Yeah,
it's just pretty much just like, you're getting capped off one by one. We got to escape. So.
Well, and that's another thing too, is that there's things that come up that are so convenient. You're like, why couldn't y'all do that earlier?
Yeah.
Like seriously, some of the decisions they make in this movie, you kind of figured they would do already.
Yeah, they would have done already, and they could have probably all lived. But it's like, you made stupid decisions that even the audience is like, okay, you can't be that dumb. You guys are scientists. And then they like, oh, maybe we could do this. It's like, well, it's too late now. You're fucking, everybody else is dead. So it's like, you're making your cliche, dumb, idiot mistakes in a horror film. So it's like, it's too cliche.
Yeah, but I will say, and again, this, I'm not going to go into any detail, but he caught it, but I didn't. There was a twist that I actually got me, that I thought was pretty cool.
Don't want to tell you details because it's spoiler free, but there is supposedly a twist, and it was cool still seeing it end like that. But if you pay attention, like if you can actually pay attention, you can actually see that they give away the twist 10 minutes before the twist happens and the movie's over. So it's kind of like I caught down. So when it happened, I was pretty much not surprised because I noticed something. You'll know if you pay attention. You'll know. Maybe we'll talk about it live feed one day, and then I'd like talk to you guys about it and say, yeah, it went all right. And I'll spoil it and stuff. But the movie just came out, so it's really at its peak of like not very many people seen it yet. So I don't want to tell you guys, but other than that, I mean, it's still a watchable film, and because of Jay Gyllenhaal, Ryan Reynolds, and the cast, I still enjoyed overall. It's a good movie with flaws, kind of like what I kind of see as Belko Experiments we watched last week. Yeah, that was an enjoyable, watchable film, but full of flaws.
Yeah, it's got like it's still watchable for me, but because I kind of like the lesson you did. Yeah. I'm probably going to look at this as probably a 6 out of 10.
Okay. I gave it a hard thought, and I was going to give it like a score I gave you earlier. I think I'm going to, because of them, I do have more and more cons that I didn't remember until this review. So I'm going to go a little bit notch what I was going to give it. I'm going to give Life a 6.5 out of 10.
Fair enough. What did you guys think of Life? Comment below, and if you like what you see here, you can check out more of our reviews here, and we'll be seeing you in our next one. We'll see you later.
Later.